Tonight you'll eat dinner without thinking twice, chicken and rice, a salad, grams counted, macros tracked. You'll call it the disciplined choice, the choice your body was built for. But the real answer is far stranger. Your body wasn't built for one diet. It was built to survive chaos. What did a human eat 50,000 years ago? Forget the caveman gnawing mammoth meat by a fire. That's mostly Hollywood. Harvard anthropologist Richard Wrangham argues the real turning point wasn't meat, it was fire, cooking. His cooking hypothesis holds that once humans cooked food, guts shrank and brains grew because cooked food delivers far more usable energy per bite. The defining moment of evolution might not have been a hunt, it might have been a campfire. Here's where it gets stranger. There was no single ancestral diet. There were thousands. Coastal humans ate shellfish and marine fat. Sites like Pinnacle Point in South Africa show mussel harvesting over 100,000 years ago. Savanna populations leaned on tubers, roots, seasonal fruit, and opportunistic meat. Northern populations, facing scarce plants, shifted almost entirely to animal fat and protein. Eat like a caveman imagines one frozen diet. Reality was defined by availability, not ideology. Flexibility was the survival strategy. Primatologist Catherine Milton noted, "What made the human gut remarkable wasn't thriving on one ideal food, it was adaptability, short, generalized, built to extract energy from almost anything." So why does eating feel like it should follow one correct rule? Hunger isn't really about nutrition, it's prediction. For nearly all of human history, calories were unpredictable. A failed hunt, a drought, weeks of scarcity. That's why fat and sugar taste intensely good. Psychologist Paul Rosen showed humans are primed to crave energy-dense food because it kept ancestors alive through famine cycles. Craving cake isn't weakness, it's ancient survival software. The twist, the software hasn't updated. Your ancestors lived in feast and famine, you live surrounded by vending machines. Harvard biologist Daniel Lieberman calls this the evolutionary mismatch. Biology, shaped by Paleolithic scarcity, dropped into industrial abundance with no time to adapt. Many researchers tie this mismatch directly to rising obesity and metabolic disease. If there's no single ancestral diet, why do trends claim one? Simplicity sells. Diet varied by region and season doesn't fit a label. Paleo, keto, and others borrow ancestral language while flattening a messy evolutionary history into one marketable formula. Ancient eating still teaches something, not a food list, but a pattern. Minimal isolated snacking, activity tied to acquiring food, long stretches without refined sugar, and meals were rarely solitary. Food was social technology, reinforcing trust and cooperation. Compare that to eating alone, in a car, facing a screen. Your body doesn't know the burger was engineered for cravability. It doesn't know that soda delivers more sugar in one sitting than a week once did. It's still running on assumptions from a world that no longer exists. So what's the takeaway? Not a rigid plan modeled on one idealized hunter-gatherer. Something more honest. Your body was built for adaptability, not perfection. The healthiest approach isn't chasing a mythical, natural diet. It's recognizing the gap between ancient instinct and modern abundance, and choosing with that gap in mind. Tonight you'll eat dinner again. Maybe this time not as discipline, not as a search for the one true diet, but as a quiet negotiation between an ancient brain wired for scarcity and a modern world built on excess.